Hey, podcast friends. If you love our podcast and want to help support us to continue making cool shit, consider joining our Patreon community. Get early access to each episode, a monthly hangout on Zoom, custom answers to your questions in exclusive Patreon videos, and much, much more. Head on over to patreon.com/conversationswithcreators to become a patron today. Your support means the world to us. Now on to the episode.
So women in comas give birth. Women in comas,
Whoa.
yes, can birth a baby. And the reason
That's
is you don't have to be
wild.
conscious to have a baby. You don't have to think a baby out. All you have to do is let your body do its job. Your
That's
body knows,
insane.
yeah, your body knows how to birth a baby.
Holy Kevin Hart talking about how in poorer communities it is literally systematic where they don't have banks in those areas. They literally will have a check cashing place next to a liquor store, and they just build it into like you're never going to get out of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of horrifying.
It's terrible. It's ridiculous. It's insane, but it's like such a truth that like that's literally how it's built to like you have it's pushing into the next level of income is so hard. So the big question is this: how are creators like us who aren't built for the 9 to 5, for the people who put their passion before them being comfortable? How do we turn that passion into a living that pays the bills and a life that we love? That is the question. This podcast will give you the answers. My name is Noah Mittman, and welcome to Conversations with Creators. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Creators. I am your host, Noah Mittman, and joining me today is a multi-passionate, multi-everything, Zoe Weston. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi, thanks, Noah. Happy to be here.
So I'm just gonna kind of go down because you have a lot that you do. So I'm gonna kind of go down different questions for different things, and we'll kind of touch on a little bit of everything. So to
Okay.
start off with, you're a writer, and as a writer, what kind of themes or topics do you find most compelling to explore in your work?
Good question. Yeah, I do like to write about all kinds of things. I guess I'm stimulated by current events. So I love to write commentary,
Mm,
and I also love to write curriculum. So I've been writing curriculum for over 20 years on all kinds of topics, teaching classes and lectures, turning them into books and guidebooks and whatnot. So
nice,
yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, kind
Since,
of inspired by the world around you.
yeah, usually something educational. Usually write
Yeah.
about in an
What's your
educational.
what's your favorite educational topic to write on?
Uh, that's a good question. I've written so many different things. You know, I think health in general. I do focus more on women's health, but a lot of things I talk about are health, for all humans. So
Yeah,
yeah, just healthy living, healthy lifestyle. And I learn new things all the time, based on from my own research and from other people's research. And I love to put together comprehensive sort of ideas, I guess, or programs or programs really just for health.
yeah, absolutely. So with
Yeah.
your curriculums that you're writing, what kind of strategies do you use to engage the students that you're teaching?
Yeah, well, I usually do classes. I do face-to-face classes. I do online classes, workshops, and once in a while host a webinar if anybody wants to come. I do a lot of free webinars, for usually again for women, for moms. But yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Ju-
actually, that's interesting. So what, because you've obviously done webinars, what are like some components that go into a successful webinar?
Components.
They're hard, in my experience.
Oh, right. Okay. I think just talk about topics you know really well and have points that you want to share. So I love sharing information, and I love to pass on things people can use right away. Um, so yeah, it's like give away your best stuff,
Yeah.
in webinars. That's really uh all I can say about that. Yeah, give away your best stuff. And then, if people want to learn more from you, then they can sign up for the next class or something like that, or
Yeah.
or buy your book or whatever. But yeah, give away your best stuff. Keep people engaged. And also let the audience participate, ask questions. People always have really interesting questions, and I usually end up learning a lot from them.
Yeah.
Learning something new each time that I have a student, actually. So,
That makes
yeah.
sense. What is the difference for you in terms of preparing for a webinar versus like a in-person speaker engagement?
Okay, you mean like a lecture kind of
Yeah.
thing? Well, the lecture usually it's just me talking for for a certain amount of time continuously. A lot more prepared. I usually have more slides or visuals to share. Um, yeah, and people usually I do those in person. Uh, the lecture would be in person.
Yeah.
You have a live audience, it's a little bit of a different vibe kind of
Do you
thing.
like do you like one better, or is it kind of just different?
Um, that's a good question. I like them both the same. I guess I love to talk about things I'm passionate about and love share. Again, I just love to share information. So I enjoy it, whether it's in person or online.
Yeah.
The whole 2020 got us doing a lot more online stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so in a way, I like it because you could reach more people, Um, so yeah, both are okay
What's
for me.
been your most successful webinar so far?
I did a webinar on natural mothering. It was just, all kinds of tips for moms who want to go the natural route, either you know, during pregnancy, during birth, and then, early mom years. Just some natural things that they can do if they don't.
What were like three key takeaways? Because that's we definitely did the epidural for for the kids. I'm interested what kind of techniques you recommend for a natural one, so it's not just a bunch of screaming.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There are actually tons of things you could do. So one of the things I teach is hypnobirthing, and that's really a philosophy, but it's also, oh, sorry, excuse my phone.
All good, all good.
Hypnobirthing is great. It's a childbirth education philosophy that says that if you can remain relaxed during labor, your body will perform better. It'll work more efficiently. So what causes extreme pain in labor is um, if we have stress hormones in our body, we go into fight or flight.
Hmm.
Okay. And if you know about that, biologically, physically, what happens is all of our blood goes to our extremities so that we can run fast, get away from danger, or we could fight. All right. So during labor, that's not what you want. You want all
Hmm.
your blood to be in your core, right? In the center of your body as a woman, um, helping your baby come out. And so also what happens is muscles get very tight, and the uterus is a muscle. So you don't want this happening because that's what causes extreme pain. Um, so if you can help your mama relax using hypnosis techniques or other techniques, um, you asked for examples, so I would say massage
Hmm.
is another great one, especially using acupressure points that are famous, that are thousands of years old, um, that are used to actually eject the baby. So there are special magical points you can press that really help. Um, but if you can keep the muscles relaxed, the body will do its job. So women in comas give birth. Women in comas,
Whoa,
yes, can birth a baby. And the reason
that's
is you don't have to be
wild.
conscious to have a baby. You don't have to think a baby out. All you have to do is let your body do its job. Your
That's
body knows,
insane.
yeah, your body knows how to birth a baby.
Holy.
That's right. So
In
if you just,
Comas.
yeah, that's right. So if you just let your body do its thing, you're going to be golden. And
Wow.
unfortunately, we've been taught that it's this like, horrible thing, and you need all these drugs, and you don't, you really only need those in extreme circumstances.
Mm,
There are circumstances where, yes, absolutely, that will help you, that will help your baby come out and everything be fine. But in general, I would say most of the time, you don't need it.
yeah,
You don't need it. Yeah.
that is
So yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no,
So
it's
I,
funny too, because like we even, minus the pain when we did the epidural, my wife was actually like falling asleep between contractions because I mean, she was tired, obviously, but it was like I had to like
yeah.
wake her up to start pushing again.
Yeah. Well, with the epidural, right? Because
Yeah.
she got, yeah. Yeah. But that's okay. That's all right.
Oh, it was great. It was so smooth.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that. Great.
Yeah, I don't use the word blessed a whole lot, but
Yeah.
having two healthy and smooth births was we were blessed on that.
Yeah.
That could have been I've heard horror stories from friends, so I'm happy that we had a good experience with that.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are also an event organizer. What in your mind are oh you're not
I'm not. When I do
the
professional organizing.
workshops, right?
No, I organize people's homes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. That's what kind of organizer
I saw the word organize and I was like, oh,
I am.
okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so actually that's great. Give me some home
Yeah.
organization tips. I need them.
Home. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Home organization. So, gosh, do you have anything more specific? I mean, obviously you want to, simplicity is key for efficiency. Keep that in mind. Okay.
Keep it simple.
Um,
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, keep it simple. And in today's world, we are really bombarded with information and high consumerism because everything's at our fingertips. We just press the button and the stuff comes to our front door, right? It's awesome. In some ways, it's just amazing. Um, but that means that we have the potential to just get tons of stuff that we don't always need.
Oh yeah.
We make, impulse purchases or whatnot, or just social media, and the internet has given us all this stuff, right? Um, and so we're on information overload, but we're also on stuff overload. We're just
Yeah.
on over right now. So I'm helping people to like go the other direction. And the people who come to me really need help with that. And I love doing it. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually.
That's
Is
awesome. It's really a problem too. Like I've seen a whole like TikTok series on this husband and wife going back and forth, calling each other out on how much of one thing that they have. Like you have this many bows, you have this many hats, and it's like ridiculous amounts of it's funny, but it's like you have like 30 hats. Like why?
yeah, yeah. It's true. Yeah, it happens. And I come to the table with zero judgment because, life happens, and sometimes we accumulate 30 hats. And how did that happen? Who
Right,
knows? But um yeah, but if it's serving you, then keep it like it is. There's
right.
no need to change it, right? So I kind of help people decide, is this serving you?
Mm,
Is the lifestyle serving you? Is how your home is designed serving you? And there is real like the design of your space does affect how you feel. There is research behind that. There's science behind it. Um, just how we see the space and will affect us.
yeah,
And that can affect your relationships. Um, it actually, unfortunately, it does affect women more. Women are more nesters. I don't know if you know about this, but
yeah,
women are actually quite territorial, and we love our nests. We love our space. Um, Men do too, but it's not as severe like how our space is. It doesn't affect men as much. But knowing that, um, can be really helpful in a relationship, because if you know this kind of thing could trigger your partner, you might just be more mindful of it. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's really true. I know my wife is OCD, so having stuff on the floor bothers the hell out of her. So
Sure.
it's funny. I literally texted her today. My daughter made a little blanket fort before we left, for to go where we were going, and I texted my wife. I was like, "Okay, I know you're at work. If you get back and there's a blanket for, I let her keep the blanket fort up so that we can play. She can play with it when we get home. Don't get pissed off."
Right. That's a good, yeah, that's great. You warned her. Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Because
yeah.
then she's like, "What the
Oh,
hell is
she
this?" I'm like, "No, no, it's we're gonna play with it when we
easy.
get back."
Yeah. We're having fun here. Let's
Exactly.
keep it up for a while. That's awesome.
So also read, and I want to make sure that it's true before I dive into it. You're a dancer as well, yeah?
I do dance. Yes.
Yes. So I know because I got the organization slightly wrong.
That's
So
okay.
with the background in dance, how does that kind of influence your creativity, and how does that expression kind of move into other areas of your life?
Yeah. Well, so, hmm, how do I answer that?
Well, first of all, what types of dance do you like?
I love a lot of different kinds of dance. Right now, my favorite is salsa. I'm especially into something called salsa rueda, which is a Cuban style salsa that's done in a circle. And so it's almost like square dancing. It's almost like Latin square dancing because you're constantly switching partners, but
Hmm.
you
Oh,
circle.
interesting.
And it's just so fun. The energy is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like the music is very healing as well. I just think that anytime that you get to have this level of joy, it's going to trickle out to everything else you do. Um, and dancing is kind of a moving meditation.
Hmm.
Um, like I feel like swimming is as well, or jogging or biking, anything that you're just like moving for a continuous amount of time nonstop. I feel like that puts you in an alpha state where you're just like kind of blissed out, but kind of zoned out. You're like, yeah, zoned out, blissed out, whatever you want to say.
I
Um,
think it's like flow state.
yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah. So, WIT is a little bit different because you do have to follow the calls. They do call kind of like in square dancing. They're going to call out something and you
I
do
need
the
to
move.
look that up. That sounds cool. Latin square dancing. That's wild.
It's called salsa rueda,
Also, wait.
Rueda. Yeah. I recommend it, especially for couples, because um you just, I don't know, you don't always stay with your one partner. You
Yeah.
switch around and yeah. There's no weird romantic energy with any other partners. It's just like a total, it's just super fun. It's a fun time.
They've been
But so,
wanting to look into that for well, just salsa in general. It's just like a really, yeah, it's a sexy dance.
yeah, yeah, it is really fun.
Sorry,
My
yeah,
dad,
you're gonna say.
he said it's like square dancing, but you move your hips.
Yeah,
That's what he said. Yeah, that's how he explains it.
which you definitely don't do that in square dancing. I don't know why we all, oh my God. I remember in middle school, we had this like extra credit project for PE, and it was just like I don't know why everybody had a square dancing thing in middle school. And then it just like you
Yeah,
never,
I know it's an American public school thing. I mean,
yeah.
I went to public school, but we did it
I was in
in
Northern California,
fourth
like
grade. I was in Colorado and we did it in fourth grade. I was
yeah.
like, it was for gym class. It was
Yeah.
bizarre. But yeah, I know. We did too. To be honest, I liked it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
we fully like we did it. We got the full extra credit. Well, what I think more it did give the basis for what I do a lot of at like weddings and stuff, which is line dancing.
oh, nice. That sounds fun. Yeah, I think all dance is fun. I mean, well, I also teach dance. I teach birth dancing to my
Birth
pregnant
dancing.
moms. Yes, to my pregnant moms, I teach birth dancing, and that is movements mostly from belly dance, but a lot of these movements are in African dancing, hula, Tahitian, some salsa moves. So the movements come from many different styles of dance, but a lot of people would call it belly dancing because some of it, a few more of them are from belly dance. But this is the original form of childbirth education that people don't even know about.
Hmm.
And it is really fascinating. So when you move your hips, you actually you strengthen the uterus and the core of a woman, and that will help her have an easier labor as well. So I teach that to moms too.
Nice.
Really fun.
Just kind of loosen them up and get them ready and everything.
It's both a relaxation and a strengthening technique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also the music helps you bond with your baby as well.
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah, dance is fun. I do hula as well here because I'm in Hawaii. And hula is really fun.
It was
Um,
fantastic.
yeah. But yeah, I've danced for my whole life, pretty much. All kinds of dancing.
Have you done it professionally, or is it just kind of for fun?
Only teach professionally,
Okay.
I do not perform. No.
Yeah.
I've never really wanted to perform. Yeah. I prefer just going and have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So in your career so far, what have been kind of a couple of big impactful moments that you kind of, I don't know if like I made it moments, but like if you have any of those, tell me about those stories.
I made it moments.
I had one recently. I'll just, well, to kind of give some context to it, where
Okay.
I had a video that I made for the Evergreen Chamber of Commerce in Colorado, showing at the Denver Convention Center on a big screen to kind of promote Evergreen tourism. And that was kind of like a really cool, like, oh shit, this is really public, like cool.
Awesome. Nice. Well, I have been in the paper a few times.
Nice.
Had a few articles written about me in I don't know, I guess you could, like the Rocky Mountain News, kind of our main
Yeah.
our main paper here. Yeah. So that was cool. I've been interviewed several times by different people, and yeah, I don't know. It's just always fun to get more exposure with whoever is interested in my work, and people are interested in my work. So it validates what I
Yeah.
do, and that always feels really good, you know.
Yeah, it's cool to hear that people are actually interested and that you're actually making an impact in some way.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if those are I made it moments, but
No, yeah, being featured in I mean, again, like I think any media or anything around what you're doing is like you're
yeah,
making something that is worth covering, which is cool.
yeah, yeah.
Hey friends, it's your podcast buddy Noah Midman here, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about one of my passion projects, my clothing brand, Clothing for Creators. Roll the tape.
If my life were a movie, the hero's big speech would end with, "Stop waiting, start creating." Because that's the drive behind my story.
Like when I couldn't afford to finish film school. So instead, I started my own production company and gave myself a trial by fire YouTube business degree.
And it's not just me with these kinds of stories. There is this growing movement of passionate, creative, flow state writing, hustling, persistent creators and entrepreneurs that are taking the internet and the world by storm.
Everybody told me I wasn't going to be able to make any money as an artist. Now, 15 years later, I've worked on 3 continents. I do own my house. My shop, I'm booked out 8 months ahead. I don't subscribe to being a starving artist.
Creativity and I are very deep, dark lovers. I've just decided I'm just gonna make stuff. And even if it's not perfect, like, it's getting made.
You're gonna think that there's right answers and there's not. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Let's just throw dye on it and it'll look great.
You don't need rules some old guy in a suit made up. You don't need anyone telling you that your voice doesn't matter. We are makers, creative types, side hustlers, doers. Why? Because we get shit done.
The most important thing every single day is just to get your shit done.
Just keep doing it, keep producing, keep creating, and as you do that, you're gonna start becoming the person that you want to be.
Don't be scared to try. Commit. You can't half-ass do something. We're full-ass around here.
So there's a film you need to make, a company you need to create, a voice you need to share, a product you know the world needs.
Put all of yourself into it until anyone who has ever doubted you starts asking you for a job. Then you get to play for a living. You get to create community.
Partnerships, collaborations, building bonds with people that like the same stuff you like.
You get to live with your heart on your sleeve, a smile on your face, and a solid answer to when anybody asks, why do you do what you do?
Sometimes you have to say fuck all the rules to get something that you really need to get out of yourself.
You don't need the opinion of the old guy in the suit.
You have to give yourself permission to just go. A little less conversation, a little more action.
Clothing for creators. Go check out snowmanfilms.shop today.
Hey there, fellow creatives. Conversations with Creators dives deep into the minds of successful filmmakers, artists, musicians, and all-around awesome people. We are looking for some kick-ass sponsors to help us keep this show on the road. If you want to reach a tribe of dedicated listeners who are just as passionate about creating as you are, then look no further. Our audience is full of people who appreciate a good laugh and are always on the lookout for new ways to fuel their creativity. So, let's team up and create some magic together. We'll work with you to make sure that your brand is showcased in the best light possible. And who knows, maybe we'll even become lifelong friends. Just imagine, years from now, we'll be reminiscing about the good old days when we first teamed up to take the world by storm. Send us an email at noah@snowmanfilms.net to say hey and get the ball rolling. Now back to the episode.
So I have had that a few times. So
Absolutely.
that always feels really good. Yeah.
What are ways that you stay inspired and motivated to kind of keep going on what you're doing?
Yeah. Just looking around and seeing what's going on in the world. Really, that inspires me because people need help. I see a lot, I see a lot of sickness. I see a lot of sadness. I see people suffering. And that makes me want to, get my work out to as many people as possible because I think that my work can actually change the world. Big time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got to do. Look at social media and I'm like, okay, the world needs me. Read a news story, listen to a podcast, by Joe Rogan or one of the big names. And,
Right.
you're going to realize that, yeah, your work is still needed. So it doesn't take much really to inspire me.
No,
And I am
agreed.
passionate about it. So I enjoy it.
Well, you have to be. That's if you weren't passionate, it's hard to that's the fire that kind of keeps everything going, even when you're having a tired. Like, I'll actually have like days where if I'm not, if I'm just fighting work, I'll take the day off, and then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm like pissed at myself for not doing as much as I could have the previous day. So I go I'm like have a really good day the next day.
Okay. So your body needed to
Yeah, exactly.
what do you call it? Take a break. Yeah, you needed downtime is what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And listening to that, I think, is good. But it's no, as you said, when you kind of keep the scroll, you're like, oh, for me, it's even like seeing somebody else create something cool, and I'm like, right, I need to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Totally.
All
But
right, so I'm gonna, yeah, go for it.
Oh, well, I just want to say when you do take a break, I think those are actually crucial because it lets your mind sort of regroup and then new stuff can come in.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly, I don't know, if you're constantly thinking and constantly on it, your brain doesn't get a break. And I think your brain needs a break for
100%.
creative process. Yeah.
It's interesting. That's, I think, part of the reason that I'm because I run my own company. I think it's part of the reason why I'm kind of unemployable is that the way that I work, I need a couple of like 15 or 20-minute like YouTube breaks throughout the day. And in like an office setting, you can't really do that. That's not like, they're not cool with that. So working for myself is like, I've literally been fired from a job because they're like, yeah, you keep like being on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, I worked for like 4 hours straight. I need like 20 minutes to just chill.
Yeah. That's the younger generation's, that's a really youthful thing to say. That's all I know. Yeah. I'm a Gen X kid. So, yeah, we're used to, doing the grind, I guess. But
Well, I do. I mean, I'll work,
I love the
14-hour days. It's just I need a little bit of break in between.
balance. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think we should, I love the work-life balance thing, but I'm a workaholic. So I guess, I got to force myself to take those breaks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but they are really beneficial and crucial, I think. You are right.
So
Mhm.
what's a piece of advice that you would give to a version of yourself from 10 years ago?
10 years ago. 10 years ago. Well, I think I would have learned how to do videos, marketing videos.
There you go.
Yeah, that is something that is not in my skill set, and I really wish it was,
Mm.
because that is such a smart way to go with
Yeah, just
for
putting
business
out content
as an entrepreneur.
for a long
Yeah.
time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, just putting out video content, I think, is really important, and it's something I don't do, but I wish that I
This
did.
is good that we're going to be working together in the future.
Yeah.
So, similar to that, what's one of your favorite quotes and why do you like it?
Favorite quotes. I don't know that I have one. I kind of like the Nike motto. Isn't it just do it?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like you just have to do it. Stop talking about it. You know, release the fear. I do love the quote from Dune. I'm a big Dune fan. That fear is the mind killer, and I
Mm-hmm.
fully subscribe to that. It really is. The fear is going to mess you up. So you just got to do it, like Nike guys say.
Just hey, listen, there's a reason it's one of the most successful brands on earth. It's a solid slogan.
I don't have a single thing that's Nike, to be honest, but
But no, it's
Yeah.
good though, because the mindset is there. That's like what I think that's the bigger thing is like when they're going after people with that mindset, and they may like Nike, they may not, but it's like getting people out there and again, just doing stuff.
Yeah.
I agree. It's showing, not telling.
Yeah, action, man. It's all you got to have your clear vision, but you got to take action, or else it's just it stays a vision forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, just do lots of stuff.
So this
Yeah.
one might be harder. What's the title of your memoir?
Oh, the title of my memoir. Yeah. I guess it would be something like Unicorns, Dolphins, and Millionaires, or something like that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems to be how my life goes.
How do you tie all those in together?
Yeah, you got to read my memoirs to
Right.
yeah, yeah, it's part of growing up in the 80s is where a lot of that comes from. We were just, we were sold a vision of what life was going to be like. It was part American dream and part fantasy. So, and we held on to that. And I think all Gen X kids probably still do hold on to it. We kind of believe that miracles are possible, that we all deserve to have this extraordinary, magical life. And yeah, I kind of believed in that for a really long time.
Yeah.
But I realized that I had to make it. I have to do the work for that.
Right.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's not going to be given to me on any kind of platter anywhere in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah. And I just, I've worked for 13 millionaire families. One of them was a billionaire family. So I have a lot of experience with the upper echelons, I guess you could say. And, they are very different than the normal. I come from just a normal middle-class family.
Yeah.
Which I'm very happy, like I'm ecstatic that I got to have that upbringing.
Right.
After seeing how the other half lives, and it's kind of sad. The only advantage they have is the freedom that money brings,
Right.
which is awesome, of course. Everybody dreams to have that freedom. Outside of that, there are a lot of disadvantages that people don't know about. So I do talk about that and write about that.
Yeah. What are a couple of those?
The biggest one is the children who inherit wealth. They don't have a purpose in life. A lot of them live sometimes their entire life without knowing what their purpose is because they don't have to work for anything. Just handed to them. Everything from, some of them don't even choose their own clothing, like what they're going to wear for the day. They don't ever have to enter a store. Somebody buys everything for them. Their groceries, their clothes, their everything. They've never done a load of laundry. They've never washed a dish. They've never cooked a meal. And a lot of them go to school, and they get a degree, and they still they don't need to work. So a lot of them don't. And they
Right.
just, they become depressed, and then they get on medication for the depression. And they're also addicted to, being sick. All the millionaires that I've met are
Really?
yeah, they're addicted to this because they need something to like hold on to. They need like some kind of stimulation and some kind of continuous nurturing, and they get it from this cycle of sickness, seeing a therapist, sickness, seeing a doctor, sickness,
Yeah.
seeing a specialist, sickness, seeing getting cosmetic surgery done, they see all these. It's just a cycle of constantly seeing specialists. It's really interesting, but to
That
me,
is, yeah.
yeah. So that's the lifestyle that I've seen in every single family I've ever worked for.
I
It's
just assume, like, so okay, so what
Yeah.
ages? Because I feel like once they get older, like if you're rich, you just travel the world and do whatever the hell you want.
You can, sure. Yeah, sure. And a lot of them do that as well.
Yeah.
hmm
But no,
I
I
mean,
get that. Yeah, when you
either
don't
I'm
have
like
to
exhibit,
work and and make yourself a purpose. But I
yes,
also
and
feel like there's so much
you
freedom in that you can do whatever the hell you want and
you
try out a
do
bunch of stuff.
totally, and they do.
Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely, they do. They travel. They have amazing lives, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, right, right, of course.
And so I always want people to realize that, there's a downside to that life. There is a downside to it. And of course, people can get out of that, but they need a lot of help to get out of it.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like anything, like, searching for purpose, whether you have a lot or a little money, is the same journey. I think so it's interesting because our kids are never going to go hungry, obviously. We're not rich, but like it's never going to, I'm working towards that. But we really
sure.
work hard to instill grit in our kids when, not trauma, but grit, to where, we're going on a hike, we're going to go all the way to the top of this hill, and, they're, 5 and 7. We did this when they were even younger too, but like, they're like, I'm tired. We're like, cool, good, keep going. Like,
I'm surprised you got them to
push
do that.
them.
That's
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
That's great.
We did I think the biggest one we've done was it was a 6-mile round trip hike, up a mountain to a lake. But it was like, we really had to like push them and get them up there. But as soon as they got to the lake, they're like, oh my God, we did it. And we were like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, they were
Exactly.
proud
They
of
worked for it.
exactly. So that's the thing I feel like would be an issue for growing up with wealth, is if you never are pushed like, I'm sure some families do, but like, yeah, again, if you're not
Of course.
choosing your own clothes, if you never go to the store, like, it sounds like that's a parenting issue.
Right. I think though, when you have a lifestyle where so one of the ways that wealthy people succeed is to what they call delegate, so you essentially delegate all these, what you consider like, menial tasks to somebody else, because you can pay someone else to do all these menial tasks. So they just, and then they can devote their time to public life or charity life or their career, whatever it is, right? And so they set that up for their children as well.
Yeah.
Because
That's
they can.
interesting. Yeah, right. It reminds
They have
me
all this
of
time, they have a lot of time.
100%. Of course. If you
Yeah.
don't if you don't have to fight for bills, like, you can do whatever you want. But what's interesting on that too, there's a Louis C.K. joke where he talks about him sitting, his kids are in the cold going to the school bus, and he's sitting in his warm car, and the kids are like, why can't you just drive us? We're rich. And he's like, no. I'm rich. You get to go live life. which I
Yeah.
completely agree with. Like
That's
that's how,
great.
yeah,
Yes.
like even if
Right.
we have, you know, a maid or whatever doing our laundry, when the kids get the right age, like you're still gonna do your own laundry because that's how you have to learn how to live life.
I think it's important just to teach basic life skills and
Oh yeah,
self-sufficiency and and personal responsibility, really. Because if you grow up thinking that somebody else should be taking care of you,
right.
which is essentially
Entitlement.
what, right, which is, yeah, that's what a servant does. That's what an assistant does. They call them assistants, of
Yeah.
course, which is a servant. Um,
The assistant, but they're black tie mandatory.
so yeah, when you grow up like that, you kind of think, you just think about the world in a different way. And I don't personally feel like it's healthy.
Oh
That's
no,
all.
no, absolutely
That's
not.
all. Yeah. And I want, so, you know, when
Not
I
healthy
talk to young
for
people,
the kids and also not healthy for the world for somebody to have that much money when you're a billionaire.
yeah, I don't have a problem with people, you know, accruing lots of money.
Right,
I don't have
right.
a problem with that because especially if you work for it, you deserve it. You should,
Correct. Yeah, yeah. If you work for it.
right. If you work for it, it's great. I just, yeah, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but
No, I agree. I again, it's funny too because I'm like, I billion, you know, the whole like distribution of wealth is so insane in the U.S., but also I want to, you know, I'm working my ass off to make a million. Like,
right. So that's what I was saying. So when I talk to young people who are, you know, they sort of have this delusion about, I want to get rich. I want to get rich. I want to get, that's great. You know, just keep in mind, you know, just work for it. That's all.
yeah,
Just
I
nobody's
mean
going to
that's
hand it to you. And
especially when
if
you
you,
don't grow up with money. That's the way that you have to. Like, you have to work.
well, most of us have to work for it. Yeah,
Right. Right.
for sure. The other thing is there's actually a finite amount of money, and some people don't even understand that. There's a finite amount of money that's put into our system. Um, so poverty is actually um, uh, worked into the system.
Yeah.
Like it has to be poverty. There's no way that every single person could be rich because the way that money, there's not enough of the money because there's interest on the money that's put in,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
And for every bill that we print more, the value of the dollar, the value of the money goes down.
right. A lot of people don't understand that either. They just think that there's finite amount of money and everybody should be rich.
Right.
Well, the way that our system works, that could never ever happen.
Right. And it's systematic, literally. Like that's what was it? Another one I may link in the show notes is Kevin Hart talking about how in poorer communities it is literally systematic where they don't have banks in those areas. They literally will have a check cashing place next to a liquor store, and they just build it into like you're never going to get out of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of horrifying.
It's terrible. It's ridiculous. It's insane, but it's like such a truth that like that's literally how it's built to like you have it's you know, pushing into the next level of income is so hard.
Yeah. Well, the opportunities are there for everybody though. I
Right,
mean,
right.
because there's a liquor store there doesn't mean you have to go to it.
Exactly, exactly. If you're
That's a
strong
personal,
and you know
that's
you
a personal choice.
yeah.
Flat
But
out. Bottom
because
line,
the
it is a
system
personal
is
choice.
there. Oh, 100%. 100%. It's we always have the choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just
it's
but there's
easy,
like
it's
there's
easier.
no investing up. There's no like, hey, we're going to give you financial education on the next block. Like
Nobody gets financial education if you go to public school
that's
at
true.
all. I don't care where you go to public school, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, they might have gotten better in some places over the years. I don't know. I don't think my son has learned anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he started in private school and now he's out of public school. As far as I can tell, he's not getting any financial
It's
education
not part of it,
at school. Yeah.
which is insane. Like sure, it's good to learn, you know, algebra and trigonometry, but like, how about we learn about taxes?
Right. Or
Or
actually,
investing.
invest it. Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
investment. Yeah. That would be well, because then, you know, then everybody would have a piece of the pie and that would mean less pie for the people who have lots of pie. right now.
Not to depress everybody for this entire episode,
I
but
know.
you're screwed.
Let's go. Let's pick it up. Let's end on
All
an
right,
up.
all right. Well, actually, I have the perfect question. So, what is
Okay.
you do a lot of things, and you're very busy. What is a hobby that kind of takes you away from it all and lets you relax?
Yeah. Really, swimming is my favorite thing to do. I
That
love
makes
to
sense. You live in Hawaii.
I also the going to dance,
Yeah.
going to salsa. Yeah.
So
That and
moving and being in nature,
yeah. Yeah.
the universals,
Yeah.
especially with water though, because that Hawaiian water is it's different. It's
Yeah.
so warm. Like I didn't like it's funny too because being I'm from Northern California, live in Colorado now, and the just warm water is not a thing.
Right. Yeah. San Diego's not too bad, but it's I think in the 70s.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
that Hawaiian water, I mean, there's a reason why, you got to be a water baby there's so much to take in there.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Water is my favorite thing.
Absolutely.
I think it's
So
very, very healthy.
I'll kind of roll out the red carpet for you. Let everybody know. I know obviously you're doing a lot, but like what do you got going on in your life and what do you want people to know about?
Yeah, well, I do have a workshop coming up. If you're in Maui, I'm going to take it online eventually, but you're welcome to look at it. My website's myname.com. That's zoeweston.com. And my workshop is going to be on illustrated heirloom memoirs. It's one of my favorite things to teach. Just teaching people how to pass on their life, their biography to their kids if they want, or anyone in their family really.
That's super important.
But focusing on sort of the best moments of your life, recipes you want to pass on,
Yeah.
how you met your husband, all these fun things that you want to share with your family. And also things about your parents, your grandparents that maybe your children don't know about and maybe they want to know about, because once you're gone, they won't have anybody to ask. So
It
I
is
think
amazing how many people have no idea about the lives of their parents or their grandparents. Like I've had to really just for even in life, you're like, I actually don't know what my grandpa did. Like,
yeah. Or sometimes we don't even know the names of our great grandparents.
yeah.
Only 2 generations ago, right? Yeah. I mean, my son did not. I said, do you know who my grandparents were? He said, no. And so, we had that conversation and it was a really great, fun conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to be teaching that coming up in May. And if you're here in Maui, I will eventually again do it online. I'm also very excited to finally offer postpartum recovery online. So that's a 1-hour consultation for any new moms, and it will help you avoid getting postpartum depression. And I cover all kinds of things new moms can do to help them get back on track and heal their bodies and just feel good after birth.
Again, super needed because that is when the hormones and all the stuff are just flying all over the place. Yeah, postpartum was wild for my wife. I don't think she had depression, but it was definitely like there's a different your brain is changing for that for sure.
Yeah. So all women go through it. It doesn't matter whether you have depression or not. My goal is to help you try to avoid that. And yeah, the care that I offer helps you balance hormones, induce lactation, and heal the body quicker. So
nice. That's
I'd
awesome.
love to help as many moms as possible with
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it sounds like you are. It sounds like you're again with the work, the impact is needed, the work is needed because that's it's all important stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to wrap this up for everybody watching and listening. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.
Thanks so much, Noah.